Where's Rutte?
Rutte's here.
Okay.
And then when
Okay, good. For Stoltenberg.
Oh, that's nice.
So I have to explain this to him.
It's a cinnamon roll, right?
It's a cinnamon roll. Well, it's going to disappear because the cookie shouldn't be
Good morning and welcome to this meeting. Before I address the Council and hand over to the new Secretary General, let me give the floor to the Dean of the Council, Ambassador Nobelo. So please, you have the floor.
Thank you, Secretary General. Dear colleagues, it is a great honor for me to the Secretary General Yens Stoltenberg and to welcome Secretary General Marku Rютте. It took us a while to agree on an appropriate person to replace our popular SG. Dear Jens, it was a wonderful journey with you during the last 10 years, truly your decade. We were lucky that you declined your father's advice not to take over a boring organization. You navigated us through many dire straits as we searched for a new role of NATO in a fast-changing world. Under your leadership, we proved that NATO is not obsolete or brain-dead, but capable to reform, to strengthen transatlantic bond, and to meet world's commitments. You were the greatest transformer of our alliance in many other areas as well. Above all, you united us behind Ukraine. It was not a boring decade, for sure. Somehow, at the time when you took over NATO, an exhibition of portraits of Russian rulers took place in Moscow. Those who expanded Russia by war had a green spot on their frames. That explains mentality. But if we were ever to exhibit portraits of NATO leaders, you would have many green spots on your frame for the admission of new members. Open door is our mentality. Dear Jens, we are going to miss your profound wisdom, cool head, and the dry sense of humor. Please be kind to us in your book on NATO. Ladies and gentlemen, leadership matters more than mutual interest, particularly in extraordinary times. Dear Secretary General Rютте, challenges before you are no less demanding. International security system is crumbling. The most devastating warfare since Second World War is fought on European soil. Terrorism, hybrid and cyber warfare are threatening our way of life. Dear Mark, you have to sustain our unity and to preempt fatigue in our support to Ukraine, where the future of European security will be decided. It is not an easy task due to the electoral turbulences in many of our democracies. The definition of our security has never been more complex, and the line between regional and global is more blurred. Because of that, you would have to finish the reforms that we adopted at Madrid and Vilnius summits. Challenges ahead of us requires a lot of diplomatic skill and strong leadership. We all believe that your long political experience, your strong dedication and working energy, backed by your firm beliefs and compassion, will lead us successfully through turbulent times ahead of us. You inherited a large alliance, and our collective strength is unprecedented in history. United, we stand with you. Thank you once again, Jens, and warm welcome to you, Mark. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mario. Dear friends and colleagues, dear Mark. When I became Minister for Industry and Energy in Norway in the early 1990s, the Prime Minister told me that I needed to be prepared for long meetings in the Parliament. And I had to sit for hours to listen to not always very exciting debates. But the Prime Minister also told me, remember that this is democracy. This is how we take care of our great nation and how we make decisions together. In the same way, I have sat here in the North Atlantic Council for 10 years, for more than 1,000 council meetings, and listened to discussions that I think we all can agree were not always very exciting. But all of them are part of how we take care of our great alliance and how we make decisions together. History was made in this room. Over the last decade, we have achieved great things. We have undergone the biggest transformation of NATO in a generation. We have strengthened our defenses from having 0 to 8 NATO battle groups with tens of thousands of combat-ready NATO soldiers on our eastern flank. We have gone from thousands to 500,000 troops on high readiness, and from 3 to 23 allies spending at least 2% of GDP on defense. And we have strengthened NATO as an institution, doubling our common budget to ensure we can effectively deliver. Our family of allies and partners has grown. Montenegro, North Macedonia, Finland and Sweden joined our alliance. And Ukraine is closer to NATO than ever before. In 2014, we only provided marginal support to Ukraine. Now our support is massive, and NATO is coordinating it through our new command in Germany. We have also broadened our partnerships in the south, deepened relations with countries in the Indo-Pacific, and NATO-EU cooperation has reached unprecedented levels. Europe and North America, together in a strong NATO, is the only way forward. Unity remains our greatest strength. It has been an honor for me to be at the helm of NATO and to work with all your nations and with everyone at this table and in this building. I thank you all, civilian and military leaders, members of the international staff, the international military staff, and representatives of national delegations. And of course, I thank my dear Ingrid, who's there. And now I'm coming. And this time I will keep my promise. I'm leaving Brussels in a few hours. And now, Mark, to you. It is over to you. You know NATO well, and you are well known across the alliance. You have the perfect background and experience to become a great Secretary General of NATO. During your many years, 14 years, as Prime Minister, you have demonstrated that you know how to build consensus. You have led 4 different coalition governments, so you know how to make compromises. That is something which will be highly valued here at NATO. But you have also demonstrated that you don't compromise on our core values and principles. We see that with your personal commitment to our transatlantic bond and your unwavering support for Ukraine. Now is the time to leave and for you to begin your term as Secretary General of NATO. To mark that moment, I will hand you this gavel donated to NATO in 1963 by Iceland. It is used for special meetings in NATO. The last time it was used was when we had the last ministerial meeting in the old NATO building over the road, and then we use it again today. Whether you decide to use this every day is up to you. It's a Viking gavel. Dear Mark, please receive this special gavel, and let me invite you to take the seat of the chair of the North Atlantic Council.
Well, thank you, Jens, and thank you, Ambassador Nobilo, dear Mario, for your very kind words, and a good morning to all. Merci, Jens, et bonjour à toutes et à tous. It is a great honor to be here and to take up the position of NATO Secretary General. And first of all, I want to thank all of your nations for trusting me with the responsibility of guiding the alliance in the coming years. It is a big job, and I have big shoes to fill. Jens, you have been an exemplary Secretary General. Today, NATO is bigger, NATO is stronger, and is more united than ever, and that is in large part because of your leadership. On the one hand, you have set the bar high for your successor. But on the other, I inherit a robust alliance. Jens, my dear friend, thank you. Dear colleagues, I have every intention of keeping up the good work you have initiated in recent years. And I'm determined to prepare NATO for the challenges of the future. As Secretary General, I will work on 3 priorities. The first is to keep NATO strong and ensure our defenses remain effective and credible against all threats. For this, we need more forces with better capabilities and faster innovation. This requires more investment, because to do more, we must spend more. There is no cost-free alternative if we are to rise to the challenges ahead and keep our 1 billion people safe. My second priority is to step up our support for Ukraine and bring it ever closer to NATO. Because there can be no lasting security in Europe without a strong, independent Ukraine. I know from personal experience, with the downing of flight MH17 in 2014, how conflict in Ukraine is not contained to the front lines. So we must do our part. We must deliver on the package agreed at the Washington summit. The command, the financial pledge, and Ukraine's irreversible path to membership. And we must sustain this support into the future, because Ukraine's rightful place is in NATO. The third priority is to strengthen our partnerships with our unique and essential partner, the European Union, and with countries around the world that share our interests and values. Jens, you did a great job building stronger connections with partners, especially in the Indo-Pacific. In a global and interconnected world, our security has to be a team effort. And I look forward to working closely with all allies. all of you around this table, in this building and all across NATO. If any job could make me leave my home city of Den Haag, it is this one. Ambassador Petridis, dear Ariadne, I want to thank you and your country for welcoming me here in Brussels. It is a city I have gotten to know well over the years, thanks to the endless amount of EU Council meetings I have attended. And it is now my home away from home. I'm eager to roll up my sleeves, get to know every one of you, and get to work together. So I want to thank you very much. And I believe now the right wording is that I have to say this meeting now stands adjourned.
One day to have what I have here takes
Don't lose it again. No. Ja, we weten.